Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 math. So you can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 8 and then click on view all lessons. So there you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter 1 variable inequalities, and the lessons we're going to cover from the chapter are graph solutions to one step inequalities, solve two-step inequalities, solve multi-step inequalities, and graph solutions to multi-step inequalities, right? So let's just start with the first one, that is graph solutions to one-step inequalities. So we're going to learn how do we graph inequalities, right? For example, you have an inequality that is 3h greater than equal to 6, right? First you have to evaluate the inequality, just calculate the value of the h, right? 3h is greater than equal to 6, so divide. 3 is multiplying to h, so divide both sides by 3. So that is h, and 3 times 2 is 6. So that is h is greater than equal to 2. That means h can be any value that is either 2 or greater than 2, right? That equal means 2 can be the solution of the inequality. How do we graph them? All the numbers, the graph must include all the numbers that are greater than 2. So here you have 0, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. So here is 2, you have to start from 2, and because all the numbers are greater than 2, so arrow must point on the right hand side where all the numbers that are greater than 2. Also you must have the equal sign because 2 is also included, so you must make a filled in circle over here, right? If you have an equal sign, this circle must be a filled in circle. If that is without equal sign, the circle must be an open circle, right? That's how you plot the graph of the inequality, right? Let's just start with the test questions, that is r minus 3 is greater than 1. Let's see how do we graph. That is r minus 3 is greater than 1, right? First just calculate the value of r. You need to add 3 both sides. 3 minus 3 is 0. You are left with r is greater than 4, right? So now you have to graph the inequality. You have r is greater than 4. That means all the values that the graph include is that are greater than 4. So you must start from the 4, and the inequality must point on the right hand side where you have all the numbers that are greater than 8. Also there must be an open circle. Why? Because 4 is not included in the graph, right? This open circle means 4 cannot be the solution of the inequality. The numbers, only numbers that can be greater than equal to, that can be greater than 4 are the inequality of the solution, right? Solution of the inequality. So that is option number 1 is the correct option. You must have an open circle at 4 and the graph must be pointing on the right hand side. Okay, the next one is a plus 2 is greater than 3. First, let's just evaluate. So you have to subtract 2 both sides. That means a is greater than 3 minus 2 is 1, right? So which is the correct option? Which graph is the correct one, 1 or 2? So that must be option number 1, right? Because 3 minus 2 is 1. So the solution of the inequality is A is greater than 1. 1 has an open circle because 1 cannot be the solution of the inequality. You don't have the equal sign. No, how to? 2 is an empty line. 2 is just a number line. You don't have any graph on the number line. So the correct option is option number 1, right? Okay, the next one is solve the inequality and graph the solution. Okay, let's just graph. W by 4 is less than equal to 2, right? So you need to remove that 4 from here. That means you need to multiply both sides by 4, right? Because opposite to division is multiplication. 4 and 4 got cancelled out and you have W is less than equal to 8. So which is the correct option? Which one is the graph of the inequality? The values must be less than 8, right? So arrow must point on the left hand side of the 8, right? Because in the left hand side of the 8 you have all the numbers that are less than 8. Also is 8 must have a filled circle because 8 is also included in the graph, right? So the correct option is option number 1. Option 1 is the correct option, right? Think and then answer, right? Do not guess the answers. Solve the inequality and graph the solution. So, which is the correct option? 2m is less than 4. First, solve the inequality. You need to divide both sides by 4. That means you need to divide both sides by 2, right? So, m is less than 2. The solution of the inequality is m is less than 2. So, which is the correct option? Which is the correct one? 1 or 2? M is less than 2. That means all the numbers that are less than 2, any number that is less than 2 can be the solution of the inequality. Very good. The correct option is option number 2. You have all the values are included that are less than 2. So 2 must be an open circle because you don't have an equal sign here. So option 2 is the correct option, right? Okay, the next one is solve the inequality and graph the solution. So which is the correct option? Just solve the inequality first. Yes, option number 1 because 2 is not included. So all the values that are greater than 2 are the solution of the inequality, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to the next lesson. And the next lesson is solve two-step inequalities, right? So solving two-step inequality is same as solving one step, right? Simply what you have to do, you have to perform two steps rather than one. Okay. Okay. You have to undo all the operations. You need to isolate the variable, right? So 1 is greater than 2 minus s, right? 1 is greater than 2 minus s. Move that negative s to the other side, right? It would be positive, and also move that 1 here because you move negative sign. You need to change the inequality, right? Now you have to do 2 minus 1, and 2 minus 1 is 1. No, you don't need to change because skip the change part, right? You do not need to change. That is, S is move 1 is greater than 2 minus S. S is negative. Move S other side, right? When you move S other side, it would be positive. Now we need to move that 2, so that would be 2 minus 1. So S is greater than 1. The correct option is okay. So the solution is S is greater than 1. Okay, the next one is solve for P, right? Let's just solve. You have to perform undo operations. Undo operations, you need to isolate the variable. Move negative p other side, so that would be negative 2 plus p less than equal to 4. Now move negative 2 other side, that would be 4 plus 2. You can see this is step 1, this is step 2. That's why that is two-step inequalities, right? So p is less than equal 6 is the correct option. The correct option is p is less than 6 equal to 6. Yes, that is option number 1. Very good. Okay, do not guess the answers. Please use your notebook and the next one is 5 plus 2g is less than negative 1. So, which is the solution of the inequality? Solve on your notebook and write the answer in the chat box. Yes, the solution is g is less than negative 3 is the solution of the inequality, right? Option 1 is the correct one. The next one is solve for q. How do you solve? They are very easy. Why then no one is answering? Move negative q other side to make it positive. Now move one other side, right? That is negative here. When you move it over here, it would be positive. And negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. So q is less than negative 2 is the solution, right? that is q is less than negative 2, right? Okay, let's just move on to next example. The next one is solve for y. 10 plus 2y greater than 2. So which is the correct option? Yes, the solution is. Which is the solution? Why no one is answering? That is y is greater than negative 4 is the solution of the inequality, right? Okay, the next one is solve for c. 5 is less than equal to 3 minus c. So which is the correct option? That is, yes, option number 2 is the correct option. Very good. Okay, the next one is solve for f. 2 plus 2f is less than equal to negative is less than negative 6. So which is the correct option? Yes, that is f is less than negative 4 is the correct option, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is we just did solve two-step inequalities, right? The next one is solve multi-step inequalities, right? If that means if you have more than one steps involved, how do you solve the inequalities? So solving inequalities is exactly same way. You just have to do more than one operations. Like for this one, 2c minus 3 is less than equal to negative 7. Let's just solve. First of all, you need to remove that negative 3. This one, so that means you need to add 3 both sides. You are left with 2c and negative 3 plus 4 is negative 4. Now 2 is multiplying to c, so opposite to multiplication is division, divide them by 2. So c is less than equal to negative 2, right? So option number 1 is the correct option, right? Okay, the next one is solve for r, which is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. Just move 4 other side, right? 5 minus 4 is simply 1. Okay, let's just solve. You have 4 plus negative 1 times r is greater than 5. Move that 4 first, right? That will be negative 1 times r, and 5 minus 4 is 1. So you have negative 1 here. Just multiply both sides with a negative sign. Negative time negative 1r, and negative time negative negative is positive. R is greater than negative 1, right? Because you multiplied with a negative sign, so the um, inequality must be changed. That is, R is less than 1. The correct option is option number 1, that is R is less than negative 1. The correct option is option number 1, negative 1, right? Okay, solve for G. Which is the correct option? Option 1 or option 2? Use your notebook, solve, and then write the answer in the chat box. Do not guess the answers. Which is the correct option? Yes, the correct option is G is less than negative 1. G is less than equal to negative 1 is the correct option, right? Hmm. I forgot to click on the OK button. Okay, the next one is solve for f. 8 plus negative 2f is greater than equal to 10. Which is the correct option? First, you have to move 8 other side, right? That is 8 plus minus 2f greater than equal. First move 8, right? So that is negative 2f is greater than 10 minus 8, right? And 10 minus 8 is 2. So negative 2f is greater than equal to 2. Now you have to divide both sides by the negative 2. So negative 2 negative 2 cancel out, and f is less than equal to negative 1, right? Because you moved negative two other sides. So that is f is less than equal to negative 1. Option number 2 is the correct option, right? Okay, solve for h. Which is the correct option? Okay, let's just solve this one on the board. First of all, move negative 2 other side, right? That means you need to add 2 on the both sides. 2 minus 2, 0. You are left with h over 4. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Now 4 is dividing here. You need to multiply both sides by 4. 4 and 4 got cancel out. You are left with h, and 4 times negative 1 is negative 5. So h is less than negative 5 is the correct option. Correct option is option number 2. That is, h is less than negative 5, right? Hmm. Yes, that is option number 1. Okay, the next one is b divided by negative 1 plus 1 is less than equal to 5. So which is the correct option? Yes, that is option number one is the correct option. That is b is greater than equal to 4 is the correct option, right? Okay, the next one is solve for k. So which is the correct option? Yes, that is option number one. Very good. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, and the next lesson is that is graph solutions to multi-step inequalities. So when graphing, you have the exactly same way like we did earlier, but first you have to solve and then you have to graph, right? Solve with the start with the first example, that is 1 is less than equal to j divided by negative 3 plus 1, right? So start moving that negative one other side. That means you need to add both sides by 1, right? So 1 minus 1 is 0. You are left with 2 is less than j divided by negative 3. So multiply both sides with negative 3, and j is negative 3, negative cancel out, and 3 times negative 2 is j is greater than negative 6, right? No, you don't need to change j. The solution is j is less than negative 6, right? So which is the correct option? Which one is the correct solution, option 1 or option 2? That is j is less than equal to, sorry, you also have an equal to negative 6. So just look at this one, you have a closed circle here, that means 6 is also included, and all the numbers are the less than negative 6, so the graph must pointing on the left hand side of the negative 6, right? So option number 1 is the correct option. That is the correct solution of the inequality, right? Okay, the next one is solve the inequality and graph the solution. First, let's just solve. Move negative 8 other side, so it would be 2z minus 8 is greater than negative 4. Add 8 both sides, right? So negative 8 positive 8 0. You are left with 2z greater than equal to 8 minus 4 is 4. Now divide both sides by z 2. So that means z is greater than equal to 2, right? So which is the solution of the inequality? Which is the graph of the inequality? Yes, that is option number 2. All the numbers that are greater than 2 are on the right hand side of the 2, and 2 on 2 must have an filled circle. So option 2 is the correct option, right? Okay, the next one is c divided by negative 1 minus 1 is less than 1. So solve the inequality and let's see which is the correct option. Okay, you have to move negative 1 other side. This way c is less than negative 8, right? Negative 2. Yes, option number 1 is the correct option. That is the solution of the inequality. Okay, the next one is solve the inequality. So which is the correct option? Yes, option number 1 is the correct option. That is the solution of the inequality, right? Okay, what solve the inequality and graph the solution. So which is the correct option? Option 1 or option 2? That is option number 2, right? Option 2 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is solve the inequality and draft the solution. So, which is the correct option? Yes, that is option number 1, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So, we're working on grade 8 math. The chapter we're working on is one variable inequalities, and the lessons we have covered today are graph solutions to one step inequalities, solve two step inequalities, solve multi step inequalities, and graph solutions to multi step inequalities, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we did today. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday 5 to 9, or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5 and from 9 to 10, right? So if you have any question, you can please ask. Please ask if you have any question. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.